All right, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're live on YouTube and Zoom. And today is April 25th, actually tonight, April 25th. And so I love this this electronic world that we're in and the digitization. I was tongue-tied till I was like 3. And then they said once I started talking, it could be understood. They just couldn't stop me. So here we are. But today we're going to talk about why QR Pop is the new standard in sharing, really sharing data, contact information, sharing whatever. It's just, it's really the only way to share for me nowadays is to try and utilize my QR Pop and the tools that I have. But when it comes to profile and link sharing, a lot of us not everyone is tech savvy. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to go about that, but here's what you have to understand is the mentality of which this conversation is coming from. Okay, and that's why I'm talking about this, because if you don't understand the mentality of which I'm coming from, we're having two different conversations. That's like being in a sport game, and in one sense, you're trying to, score, and the other sense you're trying to defend, but you're still like in the game. So you have to understand when to defend, when to be on the offense. And that might have been a little confusing. Let me give you this other example, which I think would be really cool. I was watching Star Trek, and some of you might remember Mr. Data, Star Trek The Next Generation. Mr. Data was an android. He should never lose. He's an android, right? Shouldn't lose at like think things. But he was playing this guy who was really good at like a future generation of chess. And this guy would kill it. He's like really good. Well, Mr. Data played him, and Mr. Data lost. And everyone is looking. This guy was so smug, right? He was just the best in the world, galaxies, everywhere, all that stuff. He was so smug. So the crew really wanted him to get beat by Mr. Data. Yeah, then he lost. Data lost. And Data was fine. He's an android. He don't care. He's like, whatever. So they ended up playing again. Now, here's what happened. Data did not lose, nor did the other person win. See, the first time they played, both men or players were trying to win. It's typical when you're playing the game, right? They were both trying to win. Data did not win. This guy was better than him. He's trying to win. I just have to try not to lose. And eventually, the other player got tired of chasing Data around, got frustrated, threw his helmet, and ran off. And called it like a charade or something. He was mad because Data wouldn't stick around. He wasn't playing the game the same way. Well, that's what I want you to understand from this conversation. We can have this conversation with multiple people, with multiple different outcomes, because we all be thinking in different ways and approaching it differently. So let's not do that. Let's understand where I'm coming from so you're not frustrated with this conversation, and you can better understand how to take advantage of the things that we're going to talk about and the solutions I'm going to present. Because I believe that every problem that is presented should also be presented with a solution or the admission of, I need help finding a solution. Now, I'm going to say I could always use help finding a solution. However, I believe that in the problems I'm going to present, we have probably all the solutions that are available to within reason. Let's put it that way. Available to the general public within reason. Like these solutions are not hard to come across, to learn, or anything like that. But you have to think about them and present these solutions. Okay? You don't buy a house and like not know what kind of house you want to buy. You think about it. Well, I want a 3-bedroom. Why? How many kids do you got? Do you want an office? Do you want a study? Like, why are you doing this? And so many of us nowadays are being pulled along that we're not even thinking of the why. Example is even this conversation, the way that we work, like, 10 minutes, after 2 minutes of a video, I can't watch it anymore, even if it's a subject matter I'm interested in. But it is. Look at the app like Clubhouse. People sit on there and they talk and they listen. Look at podcasts. Like, it happens all the time. But then we believe, we're fed this thing that like, we have to keep it short. No, you just got to have some short, some long, a little this, a little that. Give people, some variety, some kibbles, some nibbles and bits. But I'm encouraged. I'm saying that because I'm encouraging everyone to think, and this time that we're going to spend together is totally going to be worth it. It's going to help you think outside the box, perhaps help you with some solutions that you may not have realized that are there. And we're going to do like the master chess players do. In chess, they think backwards. Did you know that? Turn on the tube, turn on that lovely YouTube and look up like master chess. They think backwards. They've already won before they played you. They're thinking all these moves backwards. So this is what these big tech companies are doing. They're thinking backwards. Why do you think, stop and listen right now. Why do you think just about every app you sign up to, it asks you to connect your contacts? Think about it. Why, when you sign up for social media, does it say connect your contacts? It says it, find more friends, da, 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 da. It's all about how to get everything connecting. And everything connects through a universal resource locator, which is called a URL, which some would also know as a web address. Your profile on social media is a web address. Whether it's in the app or not, it's still a web address, right? It's still, a lot of these apps are just web addresses, which is why Apple changed their policy to like, if your app doesn't really need to be downloaded and it can be done off of just like web URL based, and then you need to go get a web app. So some apps were kicked out of the App Store. See, if you had one of those apps, you didn't control Apple's App Store. The internet is free. It's freedom. You don't have to worry about what the App Store is gonna say. You don't. What you got to learn to do is take advantage of Universal Resource Locator. That's what you have to, that's all they did. They took advantage of it. The App Store learned to charge people for going to their section of the internet, and Google too. Like that's what everyone's doing. They're claiming a section of the internet. It's like my internet contact address hub is Micah. That's my section of the internet. Apple and Google and all these other companies, I don't know, maybe they would call it my take over your life section of the internet. But all kidding aside, I do like some of the things that I get from social media and companies. There's some things that I like. I can't lie. All right, I'm not trying to like diss them like that. What I'm saying is that your future should be controlled by you, and you need to put the time into it. Okay, there's a benefit of reading Cliff Notes and the little, book for dummies. But let me tell you, you're still limited. It's not like you're a master builder, right? You're limited. And a lot of these things out here, social media and stuff, they're Cliff Notes, they're use the internet for dummies. And not all, don't go there. Not all. I'm just saying they try and simplify it so much so, as they should. It can be very complex out there. Income. What I don't want that you need to invest in yourself, or no one else will. People will present opportunities to help you and present it as an investment in you, but you're going to have to invest back in them, aka buy it or let someone advertise to you. That's what it's all about. As well as, life is a give and take. It kind of should be, right? It has to be. You can't expect someone to always give, and not receive. It's not what they would call sustainable. It's not. You think people are going to keep doing YouTube videos if they are not making or getting something from it? Like, a lot of people are doing it because they have affiliate marketing links and they want you to click on the link. They get paid a little something from this link as a referral. Okay, some are doing it because they want to get so many followers that they want the ads to increase and to make money from that. Some people might be doing it because they want to talk about their business and they get you. There's like so many different reasons. I'll tell you right now, I'm doing it because I've been doing this for like 15 years, but I didn't do it as aggressively. And now I know stuff that I want people to know. It's just that simple. I want to share this concept. I want to share their idea, and I want people to get it and grab hold of it and say, yeah, that makes sense. Let me do that, because I want to try and live in a world that is controlled by us, not controlled by big giant corporations. and controlled by advertising dollars and all that other stuff. It's so simple that they make it look complex so that we feel dependent. It's like a bad relationship. You need me. I don't really need you. You know what I mean? We benefit from each other, but it's not like that. So taking this to the internet and to my internet contact address hub, Google came out with what's called people cards. Now, I'm going to tell you this quote from the Google CEO. Well, I don't know if he's still CEO, but former CEO. And hang on, what is it? Let me see if I can pull it up exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna read it to you. So we have, you guys are great out there. Whoever's there, I don't know, you're great, but I'm gonna read this to you. Right there it is, right there. Let me click this button. The internet is, Eric Schmidt wrote a book with some other people, and it was called The Future of something. Hang on. And when you're at work and people call you and you're like, I'm at work, and they keep calling you, and it's like, dude, I told you I'm at work. That's what's going on right now. So Eric Schmidt said identity will be the most valuable commodity for citizens in the future, and it will exist primarily online. This is from a book that he wrote, co-authored, The New Digital Age, Reshaping the Future of People, Nations, and Businesses. I'm going to say this again, people, because I don't know how many people are catching this. Eric Schmidt, former CEO, or maybe current, I don't know, of Google, aka Alphabet, wrote a book called The New Digital Age, co-authored a book, The New Digital Age, Reshaping the Future of People, Nations, and Businesses. Now, his quote is this: identity will be the most valuable commodity for citizens in the future, and it will exist primarily online. Drop the phone, because if you're hearing me and you're not thinking, how can I control my identity online, then you're not hearing me. Like if you can see, let them see. Like he who has eyes, let them see, because people have ears and don't hear. You get what I'm saying to you? So now, if you understand that this is the thought process of a big tech company, and they want to reshape the future and everything else, and they talk about online, see, that's it again. Everything's connecting through the internet. Let's look around. Facebook, Google, Clubhouse, whatever you want to call Instagram, all this stuff, it resides online, and you could use it to control your identity. You can have a room in Clubhouse talking about you or what you like and control your identity, and you can put that link on your mic up so that when people want to see you, you're controlling that. Like, don't go to my Facebook, read these posts, and think this is me, because I'm more than just a Facebook post. And you all know social media, different social media outlets, you have different topics, different conversations, right? You're going to talk a little differently on each one. It's almost like the whole world's crazy, but no, that's what they're for. Instagram is built for pictures. Facebook was built for this, blah, blah, blah. But everyone's trying to take over. So they keep merging. Now it's like they really don't even have an identity anymore. I don't know. Like, what the heck? Well, because they all just want your eyeballs. They're just taking over. I mean, think of stories. Stories started at Snapchat and it ended up in every company. In fact, right now, Shorts is on YouTube. YouTube Shorts. It's like a video under 60 seconds. I think that's what TikTok has. Like, these companies are scared to just say, this is my specialty. This is what I do. I don't know. But I do know this. Shaping the future, your identity online. We need to do that. Dude, it's telling you right there, primarily exists online. It's your most valuable commodity, not your Bitcoin. Okay, this is it. That's why everyone says, get a LinkedIn. So you can share your business profile and people can see you and they can learn about you and they can see this, they can see that. Right. What happens if LinkedIn wants to cancel me? Or guess what? The person I'm trying to connect with doesn't have LinkedIn. That doesn't mean that they're valuable. What, if I don't have LinkedIn, I'm not a future person? I'm not thinking future. Like, I have to be on this network to be cool. You tell me I got to have Instagram if I'm actually cool. Is this what you're telling me? Because I don't think that's the case. I think what you need to do is understand the reality that most of the world is connected and you need to control the content about yourself. We live in an age now where people can talk about you, but you can defend yourself without saying a word. You can defend yourself by putting the content in in a place and making it available to the world in a way that you approve of. See what I'm saying? Put it in a place that's available to the world and form it in a way that you approve of it, where it can't really be misconstrued. And you can decide what's there. And then you hand that out. Don't say, oh, check Instagram. No, man. Um, check out my Micah. And on Micah will be links to whatever I want you to have links to. So therefore, if someone finds an old Instagram post, like in that same book, he says, if someone has a Facebook or something, you'll exist online forever. All right. Well, how about if someone has a Micah, I'll exist online forever in a manner that I want. So you could say, oh, in Facebook 2013, you said this, and then there was no more activity. Yeah, because I quit Facebook. I quit it. So there's no more activity because I quit it. Well, how can you find out more about me now if you want to? Well, that's where you go to Micah for. See, I don't have to be dependent on Facebook. I quit Facebook. So you want to find out about me, you go to Micah. That's directly from me. That's the big benefit. Now, knowing all of this, you see this thought process I'm coming from, how to get to that point. Some people are getting business cards. They're calling it a personal. Some are getting personal hubs. Some have no clue and they don't care. And it's going to catch up to them, just like Bitcoin is. How much now? And how many people heard about it and could have did something? Do you want to miss out? Do you want to miss out? A lot of people don't. And they go, oh, okay. You don't have to miss out. You don't have to let these companies curate your content. You can curate it right now. For $20, you get a QR pop. And you can connect with people through NFC tap or QR code, one sticker on the phone. That QR code you can put anywhere. You can change the link anytime you want. What I just said might have gone over some people's head, but some people got it. So that leads me right into this. Like, how do you share? This is a sharing world and everything else. These big companies want to grab a hold of your contacts because then they make suggestions and they can connect the dots, right? Did you know they also do that on other ways, like with email addresses, and any way they can, man, they connect these dots. So I propose to you a few things. If you really want to be found online, if you really want to have like some control of your identity, and then share your contact card with content that you want, see, and share it with your Micah. Because you might share it with your Instagram. You'll see some videos out here and stuff. I have my Instagram, Facebook, or something in my contact card. But the thing is, I have my Micah. So if I'm not always active on Instagram. I don't check direct messages. I may quit this, quit that. But I'm going to keep my Micah. And I simply use a URL. So if I don't like the service that URL lands on, let's say I'm using a digital business card company or one of these Linktree profile sharing companies or whatever, and all of a sudden I don't like it. They start charging. They get bought by a big company for $4 billion. Like Twitter's thinking of buying Clubhouse, and you know who bought Snapchat or not Snapchat, WhatsApp, right? All that, like they're getting gobbled, right? So let's say there was a company called Bump where you would share your phones through contact stuff through Bump and two phones. Google bought it and killed it. See, these other companies, and that's what a lot of startups are doing. They're starting up, hoping to get that payday. And I'm not going to do that. I took a vow with me and my God, never going to sell. That's just what it is. So the character that you see in me is what you're going to get. I'm going to try and do the right thing all the time, but I'm not always right all the time. I'm a man. I'm going to try and be honorable, try and be respectful. And you can go look at my YouTube, you can go look at whatever, and you can see this how I've been. See, I'm curating that content. I just realized, like, wait, I need to put this in a place. What was great is my aunt died, and I ran into a couple of relatives. I shared my Micah with my cousin, and he saw it. He was like, man, I feel like I know you. Like, because we ain't seen each other in a while. He was like, I get it. I got it all. It's like, that's dope. Yeah, it was. You put it all right there. And if someone don't want to go through that, then they don't really care. I mean, I don't expect them to like go through it, but you know that people meet you and they might search your name online and then stalk you for a little bit. Well, don't bother that. Just go to my Micah, right? Now, a critical thing to all this is how do you share it? How do you share it? Because once you get something, how do you share it? You can wait for a friend suggestion from, Instagram. Oh, you may know so-and-so. You might like so-and-so. But if you share your Micah in the contact card, if something happens to any of those and you quit, people click on your Micah and it'll redirect to your whatever you want it to. So you can redirect to the new digital business card that you use, since the other one was bought out by Facebook or whatever. You can redirect it to, your own company that you started, whatever you want to do. But you need to go out, buy your own domain name and redirect it to where you want it to go. That's like step one. But how are you going to share that domain name with people? Well, you can simply say, here's my phone number, and then you text it back to them. You can put it as your link in bio, right? Um, what else can you do? You can use these technologies called NFC and QR code. Most of you heard of QR code and you've seen it, but NFC is like invisible because it is. You simply tap it against something. So you don't even know it's there. You tap it or hold it or hover it. And boom, something happens. Some of you might have heard of Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, stuff like that. That all uses near field communication technology, NFC, which is great. But when it comes to sharing that with the phone, my experience, I've had to almost go to jail because I phone fondle people. Okay. And what I mean by that is the NFC works by the top of the phone or middle of the phone, depending what phone you have, is where the sensor is. So you put this device over the sensor and the device will trigger, or the sensor in the device will talk and you'll hear it and see it, and boop, something will happen. Problem is, I don't know if your phone has that. And when you see people talking about it, especially people who love NFC, they're like, most new phones have it. All new phones have it. This, they have it. No. Let's put it on this. Let's change all that new phone stuff. I have a daughter, just got a new phone, $200 phone, don't have NFC. Okay. It depends on the phone. It depends on just factors. It doesn't matter if it's new or not. It really doesn't. Is it like a higher end phone, $400 or $500, $600? That's what it depends on. How about my people in certain parts of the country that have a cell phone, smartphone, but it doesn't have all that stuff because that stuff just isn't there yet. Yeah, what about them? See? But what they do have, they have a camera that can read a QR code. See, you get it? That's why QR Pop is so valuable. It does the two. There's only a few ways that people can share their information. And I believe we got most of them. So I love the QR Pop because it's free. It's once you pay for the device, you can just send and interact as much as you want. You can change it anytime you want. You can point it to a digital business card. I have like 5 digital business cards, and I point my QR Pop to different business cards, just to show an example. In fact, I may show you one now, but it's not important now. I want to keep the flow. I may show you at another point throughout the talk here. But you all need to it's how you share it, man. So let's think. You can share by like text, airdrop, all that stuff, but those require like cross compatibility. So my thought process is like, how can I get something how can I make this all inclusive? We're looking at today. I was helping my daughter fix her not fix, but put up a television on her wall. She's 13. And I said, I'm not going to do it for you. Do you know what that entails? I will walk you through it. And that way, too, you're not dependent on anyone. And it's a good time together. So I really try and get them to be able to be self-sufficient. All right. Instead of just reliant on others. So we're going through it. And the short of this story is we reach a point where we didn't have the right tools and we're still trying to get it done. And we're getting it done, but it was ruining things and just wasn't as smooth and wasn't the right tool. It was more difficult than it needed to be. She didn't know the difference, but I knew the difference. See, so that right there is like the world of the internet, sharing contact information. It's more difficult than it needs to be. Now, these big companies know that, but most of us don't. We're like, oh, it's fine. I just airdrop it. Apple's over there like, little did you know that you could do this in a way that everyone could have access to it just as easily as airdrop. But I'm not going to tell you. Okay, why? Because they want control and power. See, Google, same thing. Facebook, same thing. Facebook said they want you to stay on Facebook as long as possible. That's why they include all this stuff, all inclusive, all inclusive, all inclusive. I'm not going to argue their business model or anything like that. That's not the point. The point is just the right tool. See, so if you want to be all-inclusive, when you share something with anyone, how are you going to know if they have Android, iOS, or maybe even a Windows phone or BlackBerry? Huh? How are you going to know? You don't. So you're going to say tap here, and you see some of these commercials of people sharing NFC, and they just walk up and tap. Get the blank out of here. You didn't know. It didn't work. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's not that fast. You don't know. And if you go up and try and rub your phone on somebody else, you might get stuck right in the face. And for people that don't know, that means punch, like wow, right in the face. Don't be rubbing your phone up against mine. You know how internet security is? Sharing here, like, man, who knows what you just did to my phone? So these are like things to consider that we don't consider because we're still like, wow, that was cool. And it is. I'm not dissing that. What I'm saying is even these companies that have the NFC sticker, they understood there was a way that's all inclusive, which is why some of these other companies, I'm not going to say their name, didn't open up the window because they didn't want you to see that, hey, you can share stuff besides just using our company. Like, it's not that difficult if you have the right tool. So what I tell my daughter, honey, get the right tool. When we got the right tool, man, zip, zip, pop, pop, done, daddy, good, daddy, that was good. Like, it was like, wow. And I said, you see what the difference is when you have the right tool. Now, there's something to be said about going MacGyver and looking around and seeing, what do I got? Use what I got to get what I want. Absolutely believe 100% in that. But there's also something else to be said about, well, I got enough, so I'm not going to look around. Look around. Okay. QR Pop is that. $20. You can share any profile you want for any company that has a URL, period. All right. Don't, it's like that simple. And if you look around at some of these companies, all they're selling is an NFC sticker and a profile that you can get from anywhere. So why go there? Go get a free one. Why use them? That's what you have to ask yourself. Why? Why? And once I select it, is the tool they're providing going to be good enough for me to be like all inclusive with who I share my contact information with? There's steps to this thought process, because sharing the contact information is one thing, but what people don't realize is contact cards are not created equally. Okay, they're not. When you create a contact card, it may not work with certain devices, and people want to blame like the company that created it sometimes, and it's not always that. It's the devices. There's no like happy place where everyone gets along. They're working on it, but this is proof that the internet is still young. And this is why MICA is so important now, for you to claim my internet contact address hub and say, this is mine. This is my MICA. For the next 50 years, until I'm dead, you can find me at my MICA. And whatever social network has come and gone, that's, I'll connect it to that. This is what the internet was built for, people. It wasn't built for you just to get on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram. Well, okay, let me back up. I'm not going to say why the internet was built, but for me, when I see the internet and its availability and what I can do and how I can stay in contact with people and reach out, and I see the stress that comes from some social platforms and some of the discussion. When I first got on Facebook, I was so stressed with some of the people hating and hating and thumbs down and this and that. I was like, why am I here? Why? So that people can find me? Hello, the birth of MICA, right there. So that's why I love the internet, because it enables me to be there. It's the new white pages. For those that don't know, white pages was the private directory of the yellow pages, which is a phone directory, phone book, like actual papers for young people that might be hearing this, where they would give out these phone books to all of us in the world. And we would look at the phone book and look, see an advertisement in there, a coupon in there, find the company we want for oil change or for food. And then in the white page section would be a place where you can find regular people like you and I. And there was a thing as being listed and unlisted. So you can say, I don't want all my information in there. And you could be unlisted. The phone book is the new internet in a way, like so much stuff on there, except it's interactive, obvious stuff, that you can do with the internet that you can't do anywhere else. So you have to gather that. And for some people, social media is the white pages. And I'm telling you, no, I'm just going to flat out tell you that. I'm not real, what is it called? Going up against people like combative and stuff. But I know what I know, and what I know is what I know. And I know the internet is the new yellow pages, and you need to claim your MICA. All right, you do now, and you need to live it that way and point people that way. And you need to share your contact card with your MICA in it and tell people that, hey, if you ever lose my number or something, you can just go to my MICA. I'll have all my updated information. Boom. And I'm gonna give you a nugget. Who wants to have a website or a MICA that doesn't show the last time it was updated? Anybody? Raise your hand. Anybody? I can see you right now. Okay. Sir, why do you want that? Well, I don't want people to know when I've been on there. All right, sir. Thank you for that. So if you don't want people to know when you've been on there, you can just take off the last updated. But for me, I want people to know when's the last time I've been on there, because I've gone to people's websites and I think they're dead. It hasn't been updated since like 1998. And I'm like, they've got to be dead. Like, what's up? So it's good to have that. You don't see that on any of these digital business cards, for one. You don't see it on even really websites. You see like the last post or something, but how about just the last time updated? Like, come on, throw a brother a bone. These are things like we got to think about, hasn't been put there. There's so many other aspects I can go, into. But you look around And when you see a QR code, you know to scan it for something. So that helps. When you see an NFC sticker, you're not really sure what to do, especially tap your phone to it, unless you think you're going to be paying for something. And still, most people don't know that. So the combination of them two is like Android and iOS becoming one, where just every phone worked together. You didn't need just the iOS to use the Clubhouse app, and you didn't, like all kind of stuff like that, man. This is what I'm talking to you guys about. It's so simple. So I don't understand any pushback on this subject matter. I don't understand any pushback on why not use QR pop. Because personally, right now I'm about to go in the store. I'm going to bring in one card. It's going to be my payment card, which I could leave in the car and use my phone or something. I don't want to do that. I'm going to bring my payment card and that's it. So if I run into somebody, I'm not going to have a business card. I'm going to have my phone, which has my QR pop. And I don't want to be rubbing all up on their phone trying to find where the sensor is. So I can just say, hey, yeah, scan this. I'll hook up with you later. And they scan it. Boom. It goes straight to my business, wherever I want it to go. I got it to go to my contact card. So when they scan it, it'll instantly download my contact card into their phone. And then I just say, save me. If someone's not willing to go through these steps, they don't really want to connect with you. And when they do want to connect with you, guess what you end up doing? I ask people this all the time. Here's my number. Okay. They call you, you call them, whatever. You hang up and then you put in Dave. And then you hit save. And that's all. So now Dave loses his phone. You don't have his information. You can't get a hold of Dave. See, that's not enough. That is not enough. At least, if anything, just give me the mica and then I can click the mica and call you. Are you guys getting this yet? Anybody getting this? This is why I created QR Pop. This is the beauty of this thing. And for those that don't know what QR Pop is, it's the combination of QR Pop, it's the combination of NFC and QR codes. All right, now that's just one half of it. So I've spoken to you about a philosophy and everything. What I've tried to do is come up with all the ways to share. QR Pop is one. I'm going to show you QR Pop in just a minute, and then we're going to end the call, like relatively boom. Here, let me show you first, or tell you the other way. Here's my number. Call me. Okay, call you. Well, see how easy it is? That's what we do by default, right? So I created the social contact card connection. Courtesy of my man Dominique, gave it the name. We thought about it, and he came up with the SCCN, social contact card number. Excuse me, social contact card number. It's so simple that it's like, why didn't anyone else think of that? Back in the day, we used to pay for text messages. Now we don't. We pay for data. See, it's just switched. I used to sell credit card machines and terminals, and when it comes to money and banking, it's all there. They just move it around somewhere else. It's like a game of shells. Oh yeah, free here, and they charge you over here. Yeah, you can use this platform free, but we're going to take your data and use it and sell it and all these advertisements. It's a game of shells. Don't play the shell game, right? With the social contact card number, it's really simple. It's 2 cents a message, dude. 2 cents a message. And when someone calls your number, they can do a whole bunch of things. They can leave you a message. They can press a button and forward to you. They can press another button and go through a series of like options, right? Like when you call a place, like press 6 for this, 8 for that. So you can use it for business that way and you can funnel through things. Are you serious? Yes, all this like you can do. And you can have it so that when they call, it will send them a text message right away. They don't even have to do nothing. This takes away the thought process, just like all these companies are trying to do. Simply say, here's my number, and they call you. And they think they're just gonna like say, boom, it hits them back with your contact, and they're like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah, buddy. Imagine if you're a speaker in front of 100 people. You could be like, text this number too, text Jim, hey, and text blah, blah, blah. And I might forget it, man. That's all that stuff. But if I got like your phone number, I'll get it. If I got a QR code, I could take a picture of it and scan it later or something. These 3 things are huge for that purpose. Like NFC, you can be like, come up here, tap here, you can put it anywhere, but you have your QR code, which is the same one on the QR Pop if you want, because that code is available for print. You can blow that code up and put it anywhere you want, share it social media, put it in your Zoom, whatever it might be. And there's also the phone number. You can put the phone number up on stage and share so much more than just like a short code. And it costs a lot less than these short codes. Trust me, I sold those too, okay? They cost some money to rent, to lease, whatever it is. Here, you own your own number. It costs $1 a month. And that's the cost. Right now, it's $3.99. And you get like a whole bunch of minutes for free, and you give away, it's 2 cents when you meet somebody. So I go in there and someone's like, oh, give me your number. I don't even have to be like, oh, scan. I can be like, okay, 630-931-0511. They're like, cool, I'll call you. I'm like, all right, I'll text you my info when you call. They're like, cool. Boom. See that? Done, right? And like, if I want to go the free route, I'd be like, no, that's cool. Just scan this. You get all my contact info. Great, great. If I see they got a brand new iPhone, I'd be like, oh, you want to see something cool? Tap this. These are the ways. If you're a teacher, man, you know how many teachers' numbers I don't have, like, of my children, because honestly, I just never wrote it down. And like, I got to write the name down, the number, and the the and the email and like all that stuff. But a teacher could make a contact card using my contact app. We made sure our contact card is like universal, works with everything. You can put identifiers. So if you have a website, you can call your website Mark's Cooking Home. You can't do that with any other contact card. You can make one in iPhone that does that for your URL, but when you share it to Android, it defaults back to saying homepage. I'm dropping some gold right now. I hope you all get this. This is gold. You're just looking at my face or my name on the screen. I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening though. See, I compare Micah to like a house, and in a house, you can build the house. Oh, that's a lot of work. You can pay someone to build the house. Hey, it's already built, right? But the thing is, the decoration of the house. Those are your social media profiles. That's your V card, your contact card, like all your content. You need to curate that content. Some things you put in the basement. That's like a couple of pages down. You make somebody click here, click there. You put it in your media library because we let you do so much with my contact app. It's ridiculous. Like store videos, store files, all kind of stuff. And so it's easier to share and to swap, you know. It's not a Google storage. It just works so well with what's there. Things need to play nicely. All this fighting amongst family is too much. And we're humans and we're family. It's not about who can take over the world. And what's that board game where they take over the world? I can't even, there's Monopoly and there's another one. Facebook founder used to love to play this game on Tuesday. And all of a sudden now I can't think about it. That's really going to bother me. But anyway, you know, this is not the kind of party I'm trying to live in or raise my kids in. I want these things to work nicely together, and not nicely together as long as, you know, so-and-so's in control. So anyway, you use the phone number. That works. You have the QR code, you scan tap. This comes with the QR pop, the scan and tap. Why would I choose something else? There are some really cool free digital business cards out there where the free is good enough for me, but the sharing mechanism is limited and they don't offer NFC. And nobody offers NFC and QR code combined on a sticker. They do on a card, but again, you got to carry the card. And nobody offers the social contact card number. What I'm saying is, don't look at it as Chris is selling. You know what? I created it because I saw a problem. And as I said, with the problem should come a solution. Don't down me for creating a solution to a problem. Another problem is people that want to use NFC and they don't have NFC in their phone, so they can't program the NFC. Well, QR Pop solves that. It comes programmed, ready to go. And then if you want to make any changes, you just go online and you change the link, the URL, the web address. That's it. And the web address can be anything. My web address is my my contact card. It's a link, a web address link. And when you go to that link, it automatically sends you my contact into your phone and you save it to your phone. Yeah, you still got to save it, of course, because who wants to do anything that, like, who wants a device that just automatically will take stuff and, like, you know, no, I want to give permissions to that. Okay. I don't want you just the ability of landing on a page and all of a sudden my phone sucks up whatever's there. That's how you get the virus and all that stuff. We don't want that. No, no, no. All right. I'm going to give you a minute to look over QR Pop and to think about what I just said. And let's see. We're going to call this a recess. All right. Take a 5-minute break. Take a look at QR Pop. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Go ahead. Let's see. We're going to share that screen here. All right. Open up that QR Pop. Boom. But I'm sharing the screen. You know what? Hang on, Zoom. I want to know. Hang on. Hold on. So I have to get the feedback on Zoom. All of a sudden, I think I didn't have the sound on. So I'm sorry if you watched that and the sound was not on. We were having such a good time, and I had to go and kill it by not having the sound on. My bad, people. My bad. Maybe I'll edit that and put the sound in there. But those were such good videos and such a good time. Look, there's so much to this. Steve Jobs said once that you got to give people like a little bit at a time. And I'm going to tell you, there's a couple of inventions, including the cell phone, where when they were done and created, people were like, who wants to take their phone with them? Nobody wants to take their phone with them. Hello, look at cell phones now. The personal computer, like who needs a computer at home? Hello, look at computers now. I mean, so many of these type of things. Some will say, who needs a MICA, Internet Contact Address Hub? Okay, I've lived this already. I've lived the 1999 where companies were like, I don't need a website. I don't need a website. See, it started with people saying they don't need a website, but we do. Or it started with companies saying they don't need a website. Now people are saying they don't need a website. And there's always like a couple of people that are willing and like, yeah, you do. Well, in 5 or 10 years, every person is going to have a MICA. This is just history repeating itself in some form or fashion. So to be able to decrypt the thing that's right in front of your face is important. I'm a Christian, imperfect in all my ways. But I'll tell you, there's something in the Bible that says the Spirit will lead you into all truth. Okay. Well, there's a lot in there to say, hey, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Study to show thyself approved. At the end of Revelations, talks about if you change one word of the book, that you're going to be cursed. And it also says the Spirit will lead you into all truth. It's kind of a cryptic message. Just the fact the Spirit leads you in all truth. It's like, you're telling me it's not black and white? No. All right, let's look at what's going on with sharing contact information. Like your research, you need to study to show yourself approved. You need to be able to look at why company A, why company B, and the Spirit's going to lead you all the truth, into all truth. Like, come on, let's have this moment, this revelation with me, and realize the sooner that you accept it, the better off you'll be. Okay, when I was back in 1999, I was trying to sell websites. I was selling websites, but I also ran into a point where I just got tired of hearing so many businesses tell me they don't need a website and trying to navigate through the website and wonder, like, if I didn't realize the gold and how valuable the internet would be because I was around so many naysayers and stuff like that. When I could have just kept pushing through. I was really close. I went a different direction and started selling merchant accounts and such. And now full circle, back to the internet. For many years, been back to the internet, but on the mobile side. I said, I'm not going to let this pass me twice. I hope you don't let this pass you twice because you're so stubborn that you won't get a QR pop. It's $20 to have both, and you can share. Most of these digital business cards, they give you a URL. Okay, use it. So you might have to read, not the QR pop. That's so simple. You don't need. It's so simple. You log in and you change the URL. You're done. You can get out of there if you want to. Like if you want to know more, you read more. That's why some people are like they pass math class, and some people are mathematicians. Some people can, they're aware of history, and other people are history teachers or history buffs. And sometimes history can be a little different depending on the region of the world that you're in, right? Perception. So if you go over to, say, another company that sells an NFC sticker and makes you use their profile, or another company that's built on like profile contact sharing, but not so much built on how to make the whole world happy kind of thing. Like my contact app says, hey, you can do whatever you want, wherever you want, but this is what's available. My contact app itself is free, absolutely free. At this point, we're making a new one where it's still going to be free, but not as much will be free. We don't do advertising. We never sell any stuff, any of your information. Like, come on, really? And there's so much more, and so many more features to it. It's ridiculous. My brother just lost his phone, and he's asking me for stuff, for phone numbers and everything. You think most people put their stuff in the cloud? I guess some do, some don't. But I said, well, thanks for my contact app. I can easily share that information with you. And I shared over some people that he wanted because they did my contact app. They went through my process, and I have their info. I sent it as a card file. Boom. It's pretty neat. It was so simple. Now, if you're using some other, party thing, and when you're, let's say another digital business card company, right? And now you see some companies that's like, oh, exchange information. So I go to your digital business card, I put in my name and number, and maybe my email, where does that go? It doesn't go to your phone as a card file. No, it's not even available. It goes typically to their app that you can go and look at again later. See, the phone is your home. That's your son. That's what everything revolves around for most of us. Phone. Oh, where's my phone? I need my phone. I got my phone. People remember their phone before they remember their children sometimes. I'm telling you. All right. So we got to learn to get our phone to connect with other phones and to connect with the internet. That's the dilemma. How do we connect it with other phones and the internet? And how can we then try and control as much of that as possible? Do not try and give away as much control as possible. Instead, try and control as much as possible and understand that may be lost. Oh, guess what? It may be lost anyway. Have you heard Google having an outage? Yep, because it happens. Facebook shut down for a day or whatever time, a couple hours, day, minutes, whatever, it happens. See, we're only people and these are only companies and there's always thresholds and limits, blah, 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 blah. It happens. So if you're with the company and they have some hiccup, I hope you're not hating on them going, well, that never happened at Google. It happens. It happens everywhere because we're people. We don't want it to happen as business owners and stuff, but it happens. And there's certain responsibilities that you need to come to grasp with, like paying for security. I got a company that has a website and they don't want to pay for security. They got a malware and they can't believe it. They're like, what did you do? I didn't do nothing. Your site got malwared, buddy. This is what happens when you don't understand the full, like you jump in and you don't understand what you're putting at risk, but you're just trying to get. You just want to share profile stuff. So you fall for this NFC thing only. And you're like, yeah, I got to get it. It is smooth. It is dope. I ain't gonna lie. All right, it's dope. It's cool. It's fresh. However, you get into that without even knowing everything. And then what happens, you can't really use it. That's like companies, everyone's e-commerce. I got to get e-commerce. Really, you need to get internet presence and decide if you want e-commerce. Because with e-commerce comes a whole nother bag of worms. It really does. And, worms are good. They got a lot of protein. Very good for you. But it's a whole nother bag. So you better know what you're getting into because next thing you know, you're going to be like, oh, I got to get security. Oh, I got to get this. I'm liable for that. I'm blah, 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 blah. Well, when you get into contact sharing and whatnot, you pay for this device. You're like, oh, it's really cool. And then you're out at a function and you try and share your information with somebody and it doesn't work. Or you start rubbing it on their phone and you're like, it should work. I don't know why. And they're like, yeah, that's okay. Never mind. You just lost credibility and it's done. That's different than like everybody makes a mistake. Like you're gone. That opportunity is gone. Right. So this is what I want you to understand. If you know your business and you know what you have, like you go to rub your phone up against somebody and it don't work, you need to quickly be like, oh, hold on. Can you open your camera and just scan the QR code? Yeah, sure. See that step right there? You could have eliminated by just saying right away, open your camera and scan this. Because everyone has it. The adoption rate is higher than not. That's what I want you to get. The adoption rate is higher. So please, everyone, be humble in looking at this. And unless you own one of these companies I've spoke about or whatever, you really need to consider how you can use this to share something else. Okay. You can, again, use it to share any URL. You can do just about anything with QR Pop. There is no limit. There really isn't. And if you have one of these companies, we allow you to resell it. Right now, this is the only place in the world you can get it. And just like any good thing, you're going to get people that are going to try and copy this. There's always this formula of like call to action and, the sales formula. And I'm just not one to go through all that. It's like dating. And, well, I'm not going to go there. But I just say, I'm not big on trying to do anything that works out into some form of manipulation. And to me, marketing and sales is manipulation. I give information, sometimes too much information, and then I don't get the sale or I don't manipulate anyone because I have so much information, which is why people have their gifts and their talents. See, I may be the wrong tool to share. I may be the wrong tool to make sales. I created this. I have this concept. I created the tools to get it done. And that's where it helps to have other mouthpieces. That's you. That's you with the movement. You think any of these companies started by themselves, like by themselves? No, they got a little traction and then other people got with it. And I'm going to share this last thing with you. It's called Google People Cards. And right now, I think it's only in India, unless they expanded it. And it's basically saying Google knows that you need a mica. So now before they would allow like digital business cards for celebrities. They wouldn't even have to do nothing really. Celebrity will automatically get it. You go type in a celebrity's name, you'll see it's got like their Wikipedia and their other social medias and how much they're worth and more information than than they probably want to give out. Well, now Google People Cards will allow you to they basically give you your own little space, and they try and authenticate it. Oh, you'll be authenticated through, through Google, and it can be like your official space online. It says claim your section of the internet, stuff like that. So that's all good and everything, but Google is an advertising company. Hello, advertising company, which means they're going to be working on advertising stuff, right? That's what they do. Everything they do is going to be centered around some kind of advertisement. And it's to some degree, like they take your data, they're using it. Who reads these terms and conditions? Well, we need to go past that. And this is why I want you all to really, really, really hear what I'm talking about. This is no joke, man. This is such the time to take control of your most valuable commodity, as Eric Schmidt said, and it's your identity, which exists primarily online. And what I'm offering you are tools to help control that. But if you don't take the time to learn how to work the tool, you'll hurt somebody. And I'm going to leave you with this last story. I showed my daughter how to use this drill. And anyone that has used the drill knows that you have to like put what's called a drill bit inside of it. And then these like 4 arms will grip it and hold on to it. That's how the things don't fly all over the place. Well, there was no bit in it, and she was just drilling, and she was drilling on me, like on my body. And then she backed up and she kept drilling. And all of a sudden, those 4 things I talked about came out and formed a really sharp, unmovable point. And that point was, well, it would have killed somebody. And I told her, this is what I'm talking about. You got to know your tools. You got to know your tools, because if she would have kept doing that on me or like put it on my head and then that happened, I would have been one dead daddy, okay, or at least severely injured. So it's really important that we take the time. Just because we like get the tool to work doesn't mean we know how to work the tool. And our phone is a tool to help us communicate and connect, and so is the internet. And we need to know how to work the tool and know how others are working the tool so that we can integrate it into our life and integrate into the system properly. And that's the system that I've tried to design with my contact app, thought process behind it, everything. All right. You have to grasp that in order to do anything of what I spoke about with effectiveness. And if you're using another digital business card and you're not paying for their like premium service, then I highly encourage you to get a QR pop and use their free service with the link and use the QR pop to share it. It's just a no-brainer. And right now it's $20, but the price will go up because of the value that it has. So that be that. If you're using one of their, paid services or something, you might want to look at my contact app and see if it comes along for free. A lot of the stuff, I'm telling you, a lot of stuff comes along for free. The thing is, we're what's called bootstrap. It means we pay for all this stuff ourselves. We don't have no big corporate financiers or, people putting all this money in, which also means that there's not that means that, man, I don't know how to put it except to say we're trying to do what's right all the time. And we're not trying to sell out to nobody. Not about, you hear people say, I built a company up. I've had 4 companies. They build it and sell it. When you're engaging with the company, you never know if that's the company. Are you going to go there? They're going to build up and sell it. And then everything changes. And you're like, oh, I've invested so much and everything changes. So when it comes to like a Micah, I've given you groundwork. Go to Google Domains, get your own URL, and then forward that URL anywhere. If you don't know how to forward it or to use it, you ask somebody. Somebody will help you. Type it in the internet, all right? And buy a QR pop. You can go to qrpop.net. Buy it. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. It comes pre-programmed and it's only one-time fee and use it for life. We are a non-for-profit organization that's dedicated to fighting poverty. ARC Loyalty owns us. Show love first is what we believe. Don't wait for someone to show you love. Show that love first. You never know. Opening the door for somebody, they might be walking in to do harm in that building, and you open the door and it totally changes their mood. And I've got research study on that type of behavior, how goodness, even witnessing goodness, an act of kindness makes a big difference. There's nothing random about ARC loyalty. Show love first, always return kindness. Do that one by one, and the world is a better place. We help fight poverty globally. So helping us, you're helping that cause as well. I appreciate you and your time. My name's Christopher. I hope you got something from tonight. And as my daddy would say, to the future. And while you're at it, check out my contact card before you go. It's so cool. This is one of my contact cards. Look, social contact card numbers there, my email, website. What is that? See, I can track that website too. I can see how many times people click on it, and then open my Mica, click below. There's Mica. And then I have notes. I didn't tell you all about the value of notes, but since we're here, I guess that'd be a good finale. Notes are used in your phone like a mini little search thing. If you search in your phone, it actually reads the notes. And so if you have some notes, you can optimize your notes to give you more views in people's phone. Yeah, I just gave you a nugget. Okay. So that way, when they're searching for something, store, whatever, it's more likely that they would see you. And what better place to be where people probably won't delete you than their contacts? They're deleting you off the home screen, but in their contacts, they're probably not going to delete you. So that's the place that you want to go and want to, hang out to. There's more, but for the sake of time and your attention, I'm gonna say thank you. Check out my social contact card number, and I'm out. There's so much that we could talk about, but I'm out. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. Now I need to get to this other meeting. Take care, people. Oh, YouTube likes, comments, shares, and the like button. So please make sure that you do that if you think that this content was valuable, so it helps me be found when other